If you've ever wondered why you're being charged pet rent, but people in your building with children are not being charged child rent, this is why. Have you ever heard of pet rent? Well, now you have, and I want you to know it's a freaking scam. Pet rent is a monthly fee charged by landlords in addition to your regular rent to cover potential costs associated with pet-related wear and tear, maintenance, and damages. But wait, isn't that what the security deposit is for? Precisely. So keep watching because this cat lady has some opinions to share, and I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences with this too. Hey, welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Elena, and this is my kitten Loki. I create educational content for cat lovers and relatable content for cat ladies. Real quick before we get started, we are super close to hitting 1,000 subscribers, so that's really exciting, and probably before my next video comes out after this one, we'll probably be there. So keep your eyes peeled for that milestone. So today's video isn't really specific to cats, but as a cat or dog parent, the issue of pet rent is important for all of us to understand. Animal lovers need to stick together, and we shouldn't be charged extra for choosing to live a life with an animal companion. Doing so is discriminatory. So let's start off with a clear definition of both pet rent and security deposit. Pet rent. Pet rent is a monthly fee charged by landlords to tenants who own pets, in addition to the regular rent, to cover potential costs associated with pet-related wear and tear, maintenance, and risks to the property. Security deposit. An apartment security deposit is a sum of money a tenant pays to a landlord at the start of a lease, held as a financial buffer to cover potential damages or unpaid rent beyond normal wear and tear, and is typically refundable at the end of the lease. So let's highlight the similarities here. Both definitions say that the fee is meant to cover potential costs due to damage or normal wear and tear. The only real difference is that one is specific about the source of the wear and the tear, being from pets. The security deposit is all-inclusive of any damages or wear and tear, regardless of the source. So why do we need both? Well, we don't. Section 2. Defining housing discrimination. Now let's define the term housing discrimination. Housing discrimination is the illegal practice of treating people differently in housing-related activities like renting, buying, mortgages, etc., based on protected characteristics like race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, or disability. So technically, charging pet rent is not considered discriminatory because our animal companions are not yet recognized as family under the law. If our animals were considered family members under the law, then the characteristic of familial status in this definition would allow us to cohabitate without accumulating additional fees. If you've ever wondered why you're being charged pet rent, but people in your building with children are not being charged child rent, to cover potential damages and child-related wear and tear, this is why. Children are, and of course as they should be, recognized and protected under the law, whereas our animal companions are not. Here's the problem though, because many of us do consider our animals to be family. So being charged an additional fee just to stay together as a family does feel like housing discrimination. And to top it all off, discriminatory pet policies actually disproportionately affect Black, Indigenous, and people of color. Many housing policies ban certain breeds like pit bulls or Rottweilers, which are commonly owned by BIPOC individuals due to cultural and historical reasons. These bans may prevent renters from securing housing or force them to surrender their dogs, adding further pressure to shelters with already maxed out capacity. Additionally, research shows there are fewer pet-friendly rentals available in BIPOC communities and redlined areas and low-income neighborhoods. This forces residents to choose between housing stability or keeping their pets. I truly believe that this is a decision no one should be forced to make. Section 3, in defense of landlords. To be clear, I am not saying all landlords are bad people, because they aren't. Pet rent isn't typically something you'll find when you're renting a little tiny home in the backyard of some old lady, or when renting a single room in a big house. It's the large corporations and real estate investment trusts, or REITs, that we need to have a talk with. My building does not charge pet rent, but they do require a pet damage deposit, in addition to the normal security deposit, which is 25% of 1 month's rent. The policies in every city may be different, so do some research on pet damage deposits versus pet rent in your city. Where I live in Olympia, Washington, landlords may charge a refundable pet damage deposit, but it cannot exceed more than 25% of 1 month's rent. So in my building, they could have chosen to charge a monthly pet rent, but instead they chose to charge a refundable pet damage deposit. The key word that keeps popping up here, in case you haven't noticed, is refundable, which in the long term, especially if you stay in the unit more than a year, will definitely save you money. I do believe this is a much more fair and equitable way for landlords to handle the situation of renting to tenants with animal companions. At the end of the day, though, it just isn't good enough. Personally, I do believe that our animal companions should be recognized as family members under the law. And not everyone's going to agree with this, and that's fine, but this is interesting, right? Doing so would save us money, eliminate the issue of housing discrimination, keep families together, and better protect animals from abuse, with stricter laws and harsher sentencing. Section 4, fight back and save money. So, what can we do about this? Well, there's a few things. First, don't rent from a landlord with pet rent in the first place. You can choose to not give your money to landlords who charge an additional pet rent. Remember, money makes moves. You hold a lot of power as a consumer and a citizen with where you choose to put your money. It is a choice, and your choice does say something. So when you're searching for a new rental, ask about their animal policies. If they do charge pet rent, ask them why. You're allowed to ask. Offer the idea of doing a refundable pet damage deposit instead. If it's still a no for them, make sure you let them know why you are no longer interested and will be taking your business elsewhere. Second, thank landlords who do not charge pet rent. Positive reinforcement is crucial. Let your current landlord know how important it was to you that they don't charge pet rent, and that is ultimately the reason why you decided to sign a lease with them. Even if it's not true, just tell them that. When landlords see that their fair, non-discriminatory practices are driving in business, they are much more likely to stick with it. Third, have your animal companion registered as an ESA. In most states, you do not have to pay pet rent or additional fees for an emotional support animal, as ESAs are not considered pets under fair housing laws, and landlords cannot discriminate against tenants with disabilities who need an ESA. So talk to your doctor or therapist about having your animal registered and double check the laws for your specific state. And fourth, support animal rights organizations. In most states, pets are classified as personal property. As society's understanding of human-animal bond evolves, it's possible that animal companions will be granted more legal recognition as family members in the future. To help, you can support animal rights organizations, which are working towards a more compassionate and equitable world for animals. Some of my favorites that you should take a look at and linked down in the description are the Animal Legal Defense Fund, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, Animal Rights Initiative, Non-Human Rights Project, and the Humane League. There may also be more local animal rights groups in your area fighting to change discriminatory laws, so do a little research about that in your area. And if you're wondering, well, what do these organizations actually accomplish? How do I know my money is actually creating change? Most of the organizations I listed have an area on their website where you can see the accomplishments and cases won in favor of animals. All it takes is a little browsing, and you're sure to find some cases and big wins that really speak to you. This video isn't sponsored or anything like that. I just want to share these incredible organizations with other animal lovers such as yourself. Now that you're better prepared in navigating the rental world as the parent of a fur baby, it may behoove you to also prepare for what to expect before making the big decision to adopt. Even if you think you're ready for a new cat or kitten, please watch this video next before you commit. Boop the like button to support my work, subscribe. Boop the like button to support my work, subscribe so you don't miss out, and I'll chat with you in the comments below.